In 1978, LEGO launched the first sets in its line of space toys, almost a decade after the Apollo 11 mission landed on the Moon for the first time. Since then, the company has consistently released sets featuring spaceships, astronauts and lunar bases, including detailed sets that draw on the hardware from real space missions. The Verge spoke with LEGO designer Simon Kent recently, who explained that he and his colleagues recently visited with NASA engineers and personnel to compare their toys against the real spaceships, rovers, and space stations currently in operation today. Across the company, space is such a big theme that we can tap into it in many different ways, whether it's a plaything like LEGO City, or a display model that goes into the fine details of the spacecraft's design, like the recently released Apollo 11 lunar lander. Space is a theme or subject that appeals to kids and adults alike, Ken explained. There's always this sort of need for kids to have space toys to pique that interest. He noted that over the last 4 decades, LEGO has explored many corners of the universe, from more fantastical sets about aliens, space police, or Martian colonists, to some of the more realistic sets that he and his team are responsible for with the company's LEGO City sets. He says that in 2019, they're continuing in this tradition with a more and more realistic picture of actually what space agencies like NASA are thinking of doing in the near future. As such, the company's latest releases include some fairly realistic-looking playsets. There's a deep space rocket and mission control, a modular space station, space shuttles, a rover, and more. These sets aren't exactly like what is currently fielded by NASA and various private companies. There's a sort of artistic twist that we tend to put on these themes, where we don't want to focus necessarily on the pasts, we want to be relevant and future-looking. So we're looking into what might be launched into space in the next few years. The design for the sets started out with a timeline for what might be coming in the next couple of years, and what vehicles are out there, and building something similar. Kent says that they want to support the stories that kids hear at school or in the media about space agencies like NASA, the European Space Agency of SpaceX. As such, Kent and his team recently traveled to NASA to gather some inspiration for their latest and upcoming sets, looking at its facilities and some of the projects that they were working on.